It is that time. We're gonna put some gears in the Calypso clone today. Guys, you gotta excuse the fans. It's hot out here already in South Alabama. We're gonna try these spacers on the car too while we're here. You know, I've had people ask, why don't you talk about cars that are in the shop and stuff? And the reason is because a lot of these are grudge cars. Now that's probably something that's a little more popular here down south. Now this is a friend of ours. We're still not gonna talk really any details on it. A car over there though, we're not gonna talk about. That's a true grudge car. If you don't know what that means, I mean, people are running these cars, they're racing these cars, and they're making money, they're making bets. When we cover something like this, people from our hometown or nearby watch these videos, and now they know what you got, and now they know how to combat the situation. We don't want that, right? We want to respect people. But I can show you some stuff in this car. It'll be more of a street car. So Joe Nate, he made this panel right here for this car, and we're going to wrap it in carbon fiber, so it's going to look really, really good when it's done. But man, he did a fabulous job on this thing. And down here on this panel, that's not where it's going to stay permanently, but he did an awesome job on this panel too. He does some really good work, guys. I like to give him credit because a lot of the stuff he does, people don't get a chance to see it. So I want to show some of his work off where I can. We can't show off a lot of stuff. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started on these gears. The last set of gears that I did, he had to come over and kind of straighten me out on a few things. So today, what we'll probably do is some time lapse, and then I'll break in every so often and show you guys what it is that we're doing and explain to you, not so much tolerances. I mean, we might get into a little bit of that, but Nate's really good about going by feel. Now, he can measure everything, but right now for us, we're not going to get into all that. So anyway, I will take you around the car real quick. We got our new visors in up there. That's nice to finally have back. We got all of our trim up here, our pillars back in. We got the Mega Squirt up in the kick panel like it's supposed to be. We have this piece coming today to cover up the bottom. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get the car jacked up and get started on these gears. As you can see, we have the rear end out, but there's something I want to show you guys. Check this out. Does that look strange to anybody? Look at that. Yeah, so the funny thing is about this, Nate was just telling me, he said, man, be careful with those studs, because I had some break with long spacers. I said, well, I mean, they should be fine. A bunch of people run them. I've never had any issues. Well, as soon as I took the wheel off, I noticed that something didn't seem right, but didn't think much of it. Put the axle on the ground. Nate looked at it and was like, oh my God, we got a problem. It has twisted all of the studs. So those are the cheap Moroso studs right there. Normally I would run ARP, but I ran the Moroso just trying to save a little bit of money. It looks like it has bitten me in the butt. So we're gonna have to go back with factory studs for right now, and you know, we can get away with one little thin spacer on the back, but that's just gonna be that. It is what it is. It won't look as aggressive from the back, but it's all right. At least we'll be safe. So don't cheap out on these Moroso studs, and make sure you go with the ARP or another good brand. This is the second spell that I have had with the Moroso studs. The first time was in the yellow car, in the Cobra. I put them in the back, or I was trying to at least get them put in the back, and they kept snapping off. So that should have told me everything I needed to know. Anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started on this, swapping everything out. I don't think there's really anything to cover with you guys right here. You're just gonna come in, pop all these out. You really need an impact to do this. Otherwise, you'd have to lock this thing down if you're just trying to use a pull handle. All you're gonna do is pop out all these bolts right here, and the ring gear will fall. Make sure that you got your hands or something under there to catch it, and don't put your hands down here, because I promise you it will hurt. Anyway, we're gonna pop that off, and I'll get back up with you guys whenever we press the bearing. We get to use a new press today, so that's gonna be cool. Hopefully it'll work. I'm sure it will. Get back to you guys in a minute. We need this and a drill press, I'm telling you, and we'll have about everything tool between me and Nate that we could possibly need. So this was an absolute must right here. I just hope I put it together right. We'll see. When I put the jack on, I actually put it backwards So this thing has to go a certain way, just so you know. If you flip it, it'll actually be pointing over here. We replaced the wheel cylinder in this car earlier, and it's doing great, but check this out. See that? Not good. We're not going to address that today. I'll take some time here pretty soon and put some new shoes on it and a new wheel cylinder. It's not too hard to do. You just got to be really careful because you will break off that stud back there and make everything really hard. So, but yeah, shouldn't be too bad. And just so you know, I left the jack handle at home, so Nate's going to have to just use a screwdriver or something else. We're going to have to improvise here. Yeah, Andrew's coming with the handle, but we'll be here all day waiting on him, so we just got to make this work for now. Yeah. Put a rag over it. This is why you can't always save these bearings, because of that right there. It puts a lot of pressure on it, so we're going to wrap a rag around it in case this thing explodes, which it can do. And there it is. Show them where the shim is, Nate. So that shim just rides right here. So when you hear people talking about shimming your rear end, this is one of the shims right here. It goes under your bearing. So if you're doing this, make sure that you save that. A lot of times you can get by with saving that and it'll work, but Nate kind of knows how to check all that, so you do need to check it to make sure. What does that affect, Nate? Pinion depth?
Yeah, pinion depth.
Nothing else really to see right here. We're going to press the bearing back on with the shim, and I'll do another time lapse for you guys, and I'll get back to you after we're done. Well, we're still in the same configuration, and it's about an hour and a half later. So we did get something accomplished though. I had some more ARP studs, so we just went ahead, drove those in, so should be good there. I thought we were going to have to go back to the original short studs, but I forgot that I had these, so we went ahead and put these in. We do have the ring gear on, but we are still waiting for, what are we waiting on? Waiting on a pinion bearing. So I went to the auto parts store to get a pinion bearing, told them what I needed, and ended up getting the wrong thing. So we had to send Andrew back to the store. And if you don't know, sending Andrew to the store, you might as well just get comfortable. This is going to be a while. So Andrew should hopefully be back in the next hour or so. And we'll go ahead and get back started. All right, so everything didn't work out as planned. It's just been one of those days. So Nate's checking everything to see how far off we are, because we are going to have to shim it up. So these brand new gears are a little different. And these are Ford racing gears, but it just goes to show it doesn't always matter. What's the tolerances, Nate? Like 9 thousandths or?
These will be on about 7.
About 7 thousandths, Nate said. So
And it's on 15.
Alright, so looks like we're about 7 or 8 off. He's probably got plenty of shims, hopefully. So he's gonna look through, see if he can come up with some shims, and we'll get that taken care of. Anybody want any twisted studs? As usual, I forgot the video last night. So after we got the gears done, it was really late. We ran into some problems last night. I went to the auto parts store. They gave me the wrong part. Then we had to send Andrew back. Then we had the wheel stud issue. So it's just a long night. Something that should have taken us a little over an hour to do. But either way, the car is done. The gears have no roaring at all. And I know you're wondering, well, where's the video? We want to ride along in the car with you. It's coming. Don't worry, guys. We're going to save that for another video. I think what we're going to do in that one is do some tuning, talk a little bit about how I go about doing it, and then we'll just kind of go from there with it. And then we'll move forward from there. I'd hate to include this because it's probably going to be a long video anyway, so we'll separate it out. If you notice, look down the side of the car. look at the back tires. Guys, check that fitment out. So last night after we got done with everything, I decided to go ahead and put the 1-inch spacers on. Now I have 3-inch studs, so that's no problem. So went ahead and put the 1-inch spacer on, and man, if that is not an awesome fitment right there, oh, I don't know what is. So I know you've got questions. Well, how does a car run now? Does it run better? Can you tell a difference? Obviously the car's got longer legs now, but I've not really had a chance to really kind of get into it. I've only gotten into boost maybe 3 times, and I did make a pull through 3rd gear, but I had some tuning issues because, once again, guys, remember I told you we were going to hit some cells earlier on, and it's going to be in a different load. I did delete the PCV today, so we're not going to get into that because it's just rigged up right now. It shouldn't be ran that way, but it's fine for a little while. We're going to do a remote filter over there somewhere tucked over in the corner. That's kind of my thing. That's what I like to do. There's the way the tires fit now, if you guys want to see it. Got Memphis. What are you doing, Memphis? You just sitting on your Jeep? That's weird. Let's get over here and look at the tune real quick. Let's go in and look at our last daily log here. There we go. Here's one of these long pulls right here. So let's look at that. So let's just watch this pull, and you'll notice that we're hitting cells up in here that normally we didn't hit. A lot of times we were hitting these over here. Now what that is a very slow 3rd gear pull. So we were going from almost like idle. Right in here are the cells that really we've not been hitting. I mean, we were getting into boost at about 1900 to 2000. No, we were getting into boost at about 1500 RPM. So let's check our KPA out. That's wide open right there. So the car is just climbing through these new cells that is not hit. But watch this thing jump up. Look, boom. It just jumps up like that. So yeah, we're definitely in some uncharted territory here, and we're making about 10 pounds of boost or so right now. So I wanted to show you that way you can better understand what I was trying to say whenever, you know, I mentioned we're tuning in different cells now. We're hitting different cells. That's what that is. So those are load based and RPM based. I know I should be done with the tune on this car, but I like to do little changes, incremental changes. That way I don't mess anything up, and I can learn a lot along the way. I actually just learned something a few days ago. I was having a tip-in issue. I tell you what, stay till the end of the video because I've got a really good tip for you guys if you're using a Mega Squirt setup and you're having a tip-in issue. Like, meaning whenever you touch the throttle, your car wants to kind of die and then come back. If you're having that problem, stay to the end of the video. I'm going to give you guys a little tip on what it very well may be, and I'll probably do a whole separate video on it at some point. But anyway, guys, the car is running. We got the 331s in it. I like them. They're a good gear. Definitely better than the 4.10's. This thing can stretch its legs out now. But we got to get us a catch can set up or something a little different, because obviously we have blow by, and we don't want that. We don't want to start a fire. I mean, because those filters drip oil. This thing is dripping oil. See, there's oil right there underneath. So these things get saturated. Now I know you can put like a wristband around it or a rag or something like that, and we very well may just do that, but we probably do need to go ahead and get a good catch can set up. So anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Stay tuned. I'm not sure when it'll be, but we will go down the road on the car and we'll kind of get into a little bit of tuning information. And remember, stay tuned to the end of this video and I'll give you guys a tip on tip-in issues. All right, as always, thanks for watching. And we're back, for those of you who decided to stay. So what am I talking about with this tip-in issue? And I know I could do a screen record, guys, but I'm too lazy for all that. And I have the software to do it right there, OBS. So if you're having a tip-in issue, on throttle, stutter, skip, miss, lean, rich problem, something like that, meaning whenever you first, like if you're cruising down the road and you tap the throttle, the car wants to kind of stutter or stumble, and you have a Mega Squirt, check this out. Go to Excel Enrich, go to time-based Excel, and we're going to be working on this graph over here. That's what we're going to be doing. Now on a base tune, these things are really high, so they're not zeroed out like this. They have like 4 and 6 and 8 and all these big numbers, right? A lot of you carbureted guys can understand it. You need a little extra fuel whenever you touch the throttle sometimes, depending on your VE table. If your VE table is tuned really good, there's a chance you may not need this. I didn't need any extra fuel right here. So, and that's, like I said, tip in. Now these numbers right here across the bottom are the percentage of how quick you touch the throttle. So if you slam the throttle down real quick, you're going to move over here to 600. Anyway, my point is to get in here and play around with these settings. Add fuel or take fuel away. That's all you have to do. And remember, don't change this down here. I don't see any need to. Just use these as percentage. So if you're sitting in the car and you kind of just real slow, press the throttle, you're going to be right over here in this cell. That really quick acceleration are going to be these over here. So I still left a little bit of percentage right there for that, because I do think that that's important and the car doesn't stumble anymore. But check that out, guys, if you're having trouble in the tuner studio world, and that very well may fix your stutter on tip in. Hope that made sense. I suck at explaining stuff like that, but I hope it helps somebody out. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching again. Let's just put it in second and see what happens.